This is the Say It Can't Gamer, and you are live with the MMA-Holes!
Mixed Martial A-Holes! MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes. You like to be a mixed martial A-hole. MMA-Holes, 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 MMA-Holes.
Boom, 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 boom.
No way.
From the Queen Studios of New York, Fedor Smash Bellator 207-208 recap. Artem Lobov is fighting Michael Johnson? Khabib versus Floyd Mayweather? What the fuck? You're watching the MMA.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That was beautiful.
We harmonized so well.
It was a beautiful beginning to the week.
It's great.
We should just stop it now, right?
Yes. Bye, guys.
Don't be an A-hole, be an MMA hole.
Jokes! Knee slapper.
All right, everybody relax. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Monday, the MMA-Holes hour. We're here, we're live, we're wonderful, wonderful. Jessie?
Yessie?
How are you?
I'm always wonderful, wonderful.
Whoa, no! Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
ADs.
Hold on a second. It said pizza face. There we go. All right, forget it. That just went horribly wrong. It's two rounds. Yeah, because you got to lead up to that clench.
Okay, I got it. I got it.
We'll choreograph
we'll work
it
on
next time.
Okay.
What's going on?
Oh
my God. Fedor knocks. Well, TKO is Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen gets beat up the heavyweight Grand Prix, and now it's going to be Fedor versus Bader, right?
Yeah, well, we think so.
Well, yeah, we know so. What do you mean we think so?
Anything can happen.
Yeah, you think someone's going to get hurt and that's
Someone can miss weight.
Yeah.
You know, they're both
What's the
pretty
protocol
heavy.
for that? We haven't even, I don't know what the deal is. If someone gets hurt, like say now, right? God forbid, knock on wood, someone gets hurt. You're just repeating the whole time today. Is that how this is going to go? You're just going to repeat everything I said.
All right, I'll stop.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Fedor or Bader gets hurt.
Yes.
What happens?
There's no fight.
There's no like standby or anything like that. Like what would happen? You know?
That's a good question.
It's kind of a shit show, right? It's a tournament. And say they have this mega card now, you know, now we're going to find out who will win the heavyweight Grand Prix, and someone gets hurt. What happens? Like,
I guess
it gets postponed, or what if someone needs a surgery?
Maybe they hand it to the ones who, like the other person who was supposed to win the fight prior to the, like Bader versus Mitrione. Like if Fedor gets hurt, maybe they hand it to Mitrione.
Yeah, did they ever
like
say?
Can
someone help us out here? This is ridiculous. We should know this. Congo's on standby. Congos look great as of late. Let's talk about Fedor. All right. We're going to do an hour show tonight. We're going to go through the news.
What's in the news?
Yeah.
I haven't said it in a while.
You haven't. I forgot what I was saying.
Shout out to my BFF, Kevin Costa.
All right. Let's just read the chat.
All right. Isaiah Moore says, hi, Michael. Brian Rogers says, Fedor and Bader don't pull out. Michael Anzalone says, 2 joints. Kevin Costa says, shout out to my BFF, Jessie. Shout out to my BFF, Kevin Costa. Powerful Ann says, Vlad Van Shipman to Ann. Hey, Ann. Vigo Stockholm says, the fight was clearly fixed. Ann H says, hello, with hugs and kisses and waving to Isaiah. Shan Wood says to Drunk Savage, it is all good. Ape Wright says, the slow motion of Fedor's right hand of death, barely missing Chael, was glorious.
Fedor smash. Now, let's look at Fedor. This guy over here, everyone is talking GOAT. Everyone is saying that this man over here indeed is the GOAT. the heavyweight man that is fighting into his 40s. What is he? 42 years old. He is 38-5-0.
Right.
I was looking through his statisticals, right? And Fedor, hey, listen, you can't knock the guy. When you have a record like that, you cannot knock the guy at all. A couple of things, the blemishes on his record make me scratch my head. But a lot of people are saying as of late, Fedor is making the adjustments, and he's doing what he has to do. He does look fast, and he does look extremely powerful, Fedor. But look who it's against. Is it to get excited about, Jessie?
I don't know. And I know that some people don't like to go by MMA math, but let's just say we went by MMA math, right? If Fedor loses to Matt Mitrione, right? If Bader, doesn't that give Bader the opportunity to
let's not do that.
Fedor?
Yeah, let's not go there because.
Well, I understand you don't believe in the MMA math.
No, I don't. I don't.
But there are some people who do. So for the ones who do, it is a reasonable topic to bring up.
Here's why I don't, because Ryan Bader is on a tear. Bader's on a tear, right? And I've bet against Fedor in his last two fights. I was on Mitrione's side. Mitrione finishes him, but that was a weird one there. They both collided, and it was whoever got up first wins the fight, right? They both collided. It was almost a double knockout. Mitrione was a little bit faster and was able to finish the deal. I feel if Fedor was faster in the exchange, he would have finished the deal. So I think that's what that fight came down to. So I don't know if you can put too much on that fight. All right. Now, Mitrione, yes, he got smothered by Ryan Bader, but that's a totally different style. Bader and Fedor, they're completely different. And Fedor has the size on Bader, but Bader, that smothering style could be very effective for him as long as he doesn't get caught with the mighty hands of Fedor. You look at his resume, all right? Now, the last two wins are Sonnen and Mir in the heavyweight tournament, and there's that Mitrione blemish. And then you have like 5 fights in a row. We got Rizin, Fight Night Global, M1, Dream. He was all over the fucking place, this guy, right? Then you see the Strikeforce resume, and you recognize those names. Strikeforce, to me, is the GOAT of MMA organizations. Strikeforce was, well,
wonderful.
I still think it was the best. I really do. I love, now listen, you can say Pride and this and that. Strikeforce, to me, as a mainstream organization, that was my shit. That was my joint over there. And a lot of crazy killers came out of Strikeforce. Dan Henderson at heavyweight, which, some people forget. Yeah, he fought at heavyweight too. Dan Henderson, he beat him, right? Punches, first round. Antonio Silva, Bigfoot. Well, he stopped him doctor-wise in the second round. Fabricio Verdum, the triangle armbar. Now, two of them have been convicted of steroids, right? And now Fedor, people are like, well, Fedor could have been on steroids too, but if I'm not mistaken, there is no actual ties to steroids with Fedor, so you can't really crucify him for that. But look at the people he lost to. Dan Henderson's been questioned as well. And, that's that. But those are the 3 L's in a row, and that's on Strikeforce. So you look at these people, and these people are legit contenders. I mean, legit fighters, I should say. But 2 of them get popped for steroids. So how much credit do you put on those 2 fights over there? And then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 in a row.
Now, of those 30, I've only saw 6 decisions. So they were all finishes aside from that. I mean, that's a pretty solid record right there. And I think you're right. Taking 2 opponents who were on steroids, it's a fair argument. Fedor he's an extremely prestigious fighter. And I don't doubt Fedor. I'm just trying to look at if I believed in MMA math, and I know people are going to take this into account, which is why
MMA math.
Well, it's why I bring it up, is because people will take this into account, the fact that Mitrione beat Fedor but was beat by Bader. So
yeah, but it's apples and oranges because, like I said, they both collided and it was first one-up wins.
Right. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's what it really came down to. It was a hilarious fight. If you didn't see the Mitrione Fedor fight, I mean, it was if I'm not mistaken, that was his first Bellator fight, right? I'm almost positive. Let me just recheck, but I'm pretty sure I think that was both of their first fights in Bellator. I could be wrong, but I know Fedor,
it looks like it.
That was his first Bellator fight. And they both collided, and it was literally like Rocky and Apollo, just bang right onto the floor, and then they're like, oh, that sucked, and they got back up, and Mitrione finished the job. It's a fascinating fight. Now, The last two, I'm completely wrong. I keep on going, Chael's going to fucking wrestle. He's going to wrestle fuck him.
Well, in fairness, wasn't Chael more of a fan pick? I think on both of our sides it was more of a fan pick than. But
I honestly believe Chael was going to win.
Oh,
yeah, I did. I thought the wrestling was going to be something, and I'm going to do the same thing with Bader. Now Bader is a whole different story. We got Vlad coming in with the donation.
Come take them belts off me.
Look at Fedor's body for all his sake. None of that dad bod says steroids. Dude's never been jacked his entire career. Lord Artem is going to beat Michael Johnson so bad that he'll be called a racist and arrested for a hate crime.
That's right. We're going to be talking about that. Thank you, Vlad.
I want to talk about it now almost.
Hold on. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about it in the news.
Good donation, Vlad. Very well used on that one.
Yeah, Lord Artem is fighting Michael Johnson, and it makes me scratch my fucking head. By the way, I want to throw this out there. Here's the Conor picture. You can't see this on iTunes and Podbean, but on our YouTube stream, you can see this. Here's our Conor picture over here. If someone sends us, and we have an address down below, Lord Artem, if we have a Lord Artem picture around the same size over here, we will substitute Conor and put Lord Artem up there because I think,
really?
100%, right?
We've had that picture for so long, though.
Artem Lobov is...
Why don't we put Artem and Conor? There's a spot right here. Right
Artem, no. There's only... Listen... There's only one room for one, and then we have to go on the other side. We have to figure something else, and we're going to be losing the Godfather too. No. We don't want to listen. The dick sucking. What is it going to be? All SPG on our wall? No, that's not happening. We're gonna on one side.
If you wanted both, I mean.
No. That's not how it's going to work. Artem is the Chuck Norris.
I guess that's not how this is going to work.
When I put my foot down, that's all that matters. Artem is the Chuck Norris of MMA. That's what he is.
Yeah.
No matter how many fights he loses, it doesn't matter. He's forever the 500 warrior. And against Michael Johnson, we're going to get into it. I don't know what they were thinking with that fight, but yeah, we'll definitely get into that one. Let's talk a little bit more Fedor, though. I mean, what do you do? Him versus Bader, right? I'm going to go with Bader again. I'm going to go with Bader and go against Fedor one more time.
I think I'm going to go with Fedor. Wrong. I think I might go with Fedor on this one. And as much as I brought up the MMA math about how Fedor might lose, I personally don't believe in it. So I think Fedor might have a standing chance here.
Yeah, of course he has a standing chance.
He's
been fucking pummeling people.
No, just taking the win. Mm-hmm. I would choose Fedor for this one.
People are going to say this, right? And they're going to like to use the Conor thing. Well, if Conor keeps it on the ground, he's going to knock out Khabib. And if it gets to the ground, Khabib's going to suffocate him. So is it the same thing with Bader and Fedor? Or is Fedor going to go by a decision? What's going to happen here?
Well, because Fedor's got some strong striking behind him. And it would be stupid to say that Fedor might not win by knockout,
I think his only way, though, I think it is a knockout. I really do, because if it does become a grueling fight, and I'm assuming this is going to be a 5-round fight since this is the last one in the heavyweight Grand Prix, and that to me favors Bader. It does favor Bader. I think Ryan Bader could go the long haul. I think he can make it very ugly.
You don't think Fedor has the gas tank?
Fedor clearly has a gas tank. I mean, at 42 years old, this guy is like lightning. But
I mean, in
haven't seen him
to
deep.
Bader.
Yeah, Ryan Bader, I feel like can be the more grueling one in this one. But I could be completely wrong. Let me know in the chat what you think. And I see people talking about steroids too. I mean, listen, it's been spoken about with Fedor. Now, I don't know. He fought in the steroid era. So to say this man wasn't on steroids, I mean, listen, I think like Nate Diaz said, everyone's on steroids. Everyone's on steroids. Right?
It helps with the healing process and...
well, that's CBD.
Yeah.
It does help with the healing process.
Well, everyone's on drugs. We'll put it that way.
Drugs? Oh, so you're changing it to everyone's on drugs.
Everyone's on drugs.
All right, let's see what the chat says.
Pancho Barraza says Mamacita. Masturbator says, and Mike Hunt. Aussie Jude says MJ. Now and Later says Sup Holes. David Flores Jr. says, I love Fedor. Fuck Sonnen. I'm with Fedor 100%. But Fedor might take it. He's got hands, power, and athletic wrestler.
It's funny. Bader and Fedor. You're combining them to Bader. Right? They're like,
it's so hard to say. You say Bader Fedor like 5 times fast, and you're bound to say Bader Fedor.
Bader, Fedor, Fader. 20 likes.
20 likes.
40. 20 likes, yeah. 20 likes.
I hope the dislikes die
All right. So, yeah, if you're jumping in, we are talking about Fedor Emelianenko.
Fedor.
That's right.
Not Fedor.
No.
Fedor.
That's right. Yeah. He finished Chael Sonnen, Bellator 208. And where is it? Let's go back over here. Take a quick look at that card, and we're going to go into the news. I know a lot of people are like, Bellator sucks. But this weekend, I got to say, the 2 fights in a row, the 2 fight nights in a row, or whatever the hell you want to call them, 207 and 208, they weren't bad. I enjoyed it, you know. It went against PFL on Saturday night, but more MMA the better. Benson Henderson, another one, gets the win, but here we go with the decision bullshit. Win's a win, so credit to him. Apparently he called out Khabib. I missed it. Someone that stands out to me is Chud Kongo. Yes, Timothy Johnson. Is he someone to really fear? He is 12-5, you know, but Chud Kongo on a little bit of a winning streak, and he's another one at Bellator, right? Mm-hmm. This guy here is 43 years old, and he's got a little bit of a win streak. Look at this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a row.
Now, those are now you give him credit for having that winning streak, but in comparison to what we just saw with Fedor, like he has mostly decisions. This guy. Now, there's still wins, so they still count.
Listen, this is apples and oranges.
I'm looking at.
Cheick Kongo fought in the UFC.
Okay.
Fedor, he never did. So I mean, you gotta look at that, right?
So what? They're a more prestigious fighter if they fight in the UFC.
Well, I mean, look at Fedor's losses, right? He had the 3-fight losing streak, and all 3 of them were UFC fighters.
But didn't you say 2 of them were steroid users?
Yeah, they got popped for steroids. But Cheick Kongo, I mean, if you throw steroids out there too,
right?
You know, a little bit of a tougher run fighting in the UFC. You know, so they're apples and oranges. Now, when it comes to resume, and you look at the stats, yeah. Fedor has only got a couple of losses on his career, and other than that, he was on a 30-fight win streak. You know, a win's a win, no matter what. But when you look at the UFC versus Fedor not in the UFC, and then you look at his last couple of wins against guys that are clearly washed up, I don't know. It's a weird argument to have over there. How about this? In prime, Cheick Kongo versus in prime, Fedor. Like, I'm talking prime action here, like either roided up or not roided up.
Fedor.
Who would you pick in this fight?
Fedor.
Cheick Kongo or Fedor?
Here's why. Can I take just a second to explain why the decisions are a little bit for me? It's not that he has the wins. I give him credit for having the wins. That alone makes him a good fighter is by having that winning streak. But what I don't like is when it comes to a decision, we've seen it before. Judges can sometimes be a little skewed with their scoring. You know, one minor tweak and that gives Kongo a win, whereas his opponent could have gotten that win. You know, like, it's not to say that he didn't win the fights. He probably did. But there are situations like that out there where maybe he shouldn't have gotten that decision, but he did. You know, so it's kind of difficult to count a winning streak as something prideful for a fighter when most of them, one after the other, is a decision, you know?
Yeah, but most of his decisions are either majority or unanimous. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, if you look through, you know, majority are like that when it came to Kongo. Here's the problem with Kongo. He's boring as hell. Mm-hmm. And when you look at records, just records as is, I mean, you got to go with Fedor, right? Because he has a more impressive statistical record. But you wonder with these records, you know, how legit are they? You know, and you got to count UFC time as the upper echelon, you know. That's just my opinion. I have to go with Fedor just because of the numbers, but if someone made an argument for Kongo, I can't argue it. I really can't go against it because you look at all the UFC time that Kongo's had. That's where I would go. Let's see what the chat room says.
JK says Cheick Kongo has a glass jaw. Vigo Stockholm says Fedor versus Conor. Who wins? Fedor.
What did he say?
Fedor versus Conor. Of course, Fedor is
Conor.
Win.
What are you talking about?
Fedor beats any fighter in his prime, says Cayman Ryder.
Okay.
Who joins says Glass Jew. Where's Staley? Van Shipman says David Flores. What's up, bro? Mike Hunt says holy fook. JBH knows her shit now.
What?
Drunk Savage says Fedor is retiring with the belt. Ali Abzar says Fedor has lost in his prime though. Kevin Costa says, no Bellator champ can beat any UFC champ. Isaiah Moore says, Fedor had to adjust to a cage from a ring. It's hard to hold some losses against him. NH says, Fedor, ... Cayman Ryder says, Congo gets destroyed no problem against Fedor in his prime. This is not even a contest. Paul Fay says, Fedor versus Krokop when they were in their prime was amazing.
Yep.
Hate it or love it, John Jones has the most impressive record, says Vlad. Daniel R says, you guys rock and will make any fight league great.
You're damn fucking right, motherfucker. That's right. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Shout out to
All right,
Daniel
so
R.
let's talk about this now. What about wrestling? What about this whole wrestling thing? A lot of people are like wrestling wins. Now you see Bader versus Mitrione. Yes.
This is a huge controversy right now, by the way.
What about now? Fedor is like, no, Mr. Wrestler, you can flop on your back as much as you want, try to invite me to the ground. And then, some people are saying the fight was fixed. Let's stop that. Let's just, the fixed bullshit. Chael Sonnen's undersized at heavyweight. We've seen it with John Jones. So no, John Jones is light heavyweight. What am I talking about? Chael could fight at middleweight if he wanted to. But at heavyweight, I don't know. I stood next to Chael Sonnen. Like he's kind of big, but he doesn't remind me of a heavyweight fighter. I don't see heavyweight when I see Chael Sonnen. And in this fight versus Fedor, yeah, I don't know. He just seemed a little. It just didn't seem like he was just getting thrown around, and that weird flipping that he was doing. He seemed panicked when he got hit.
You know what he said about that? He said that he thought he had the grasp that he needed, and he had done this move before, and it just didn't work out the way it usually does. That's what he said. But here's the thing. Here's my. Did you have anything else you wanted to say before I give my opinion?
No, I have another point I'm going to make. But go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes to this, I don't think it was fixed. I think Fedor was very smart. If I had to be completely honest, I think he was extremely smart in the fight. I could see how it came across as fixed easily. It's one of those things where like now we know Fedor versus Bader. Everybody wanted to see that happen. Nobody wants to see Bader versus Chael. As much as people like, nobody would want to see that.
I did. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Well, here's the thing, and there's going to be fans on either side, but I personally wouldn't have wanted to see Chael, and I like Chael now.
No, you wanted to. You picked Chael.
I picked Chael to win.
Yeah, but you said your favorite fighter is Chael Sonnen, right?
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. Yeah, but I don't know if I would have wanted to see Bader. I as far as more entertaining fights, as far as fights that would put.
It's easy to say in hindsight, but before that fight, if I were to ask you this question,
before I probably would have said Chael. Sure.
Now that you see Fedor fight and finish Chael,
and I'm trying to think about this realistically, not just as a fan of Chael, but just as a realistic fan of the sport. I would want to see Fedor versus Bader, but here's the thing: I think Fedor was smart because if you notice during that fight, every time Chael was on the ground and Chael wanted to be on the ground, he stayed there, and Fedor stood him up every time, every single time. There were only a few times that Fedor went down. Exactly. So I think it wasn't fixed. I think Fedor just played it very, very smart.
Well, yeah, and so another thing, I don't think Fedor was afraid of Chael on the ground. I think the thing is he wanted to knock him the fuck out.
Right.
And it's a little more difficult if you're inside his guard and you don't want to play that game with a wrestler. So
right.
Yeah, he wanted to knock him the fuck up. So he's like, yeah, stand up. Let's play. So I understand what Fedor did. You notice with Chael Sonnen, this is something really interesting. Bellator 208 this weekend. And by the way, if you didn't know, 207, Ryan Bader beat Mitrione, so he moves on to the finals versus Fedor. Spoiler alert. And now Chael Sonnen has him and McGregor.
Right.
It's really fascinating. Now, McGregor only has 2 losses in the UFC, right? Yeah, now you can count his losses in Cage Warriors, but it's not like he's not loaded with losses. When you look at Chael's got some losses that stacked up in notable ones in big situations, right?
Right.
Chael Sonnen, Conor McGregor. Chael Sonnen, the only difference is Chael Sonnen, well, he's a wrestler, and his steroid links. That's plagued Chael Sonnen, being suspended for steroids and then leaving the UFC and going to Bellator where miraculously he's not doing steroids. That's a problem there. But the one thing that you could link to the guys together, besides their trash talk, is the fact that they can take an L.
Right.
And then bounce back and no one gives a fuck. You ever notice this? The two most unscathed guys. Like Conor McGregor literally gets destroyed by Khabib. Now he did win a round. I will say that. But he gets destroyed by Khabib, gets finished, right? Somehow this weird fight breaks out and everyone starts to forget about Conor getting fucking mutilated. And next thing you know, he's tossing a football around in Dallas at the football game for the Cowboys. And everyone's cheering him on. The players are scoring touchdowns.
How he threw that football?
Here's the thing.
Wait, we'll talk about this in the news.
Yeah, we will talk about that. But what I'm trying to say is, how does Chael Sonnen And Conor McGregor constantly dodged the bullet of criticism. Now, people like bust balls about it. And then the next thing you know, he's getting standing ovations everywhere. And he's on late night shows and he's tossing out the ball. He's sitting in skyboxes drinking his whiskey and scotch. Chael Sonnen goes back to ESPN and he's getting a tracksuit from fucking Fedor.
See, and now this is why I could see that people thought the fight was fixed. Chael Sonnen, and you've said it before. I believe it was you who said it. He's got his whole life. He doesn't need a fight anymore.
Well, that's the thing. It's not fixed.
He's got like what, 2 shows now, 3 shows.
Yeah, he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck.
He doesn't care. And I could definitely see why people would use that as an argument for why the fight was fixed. I personally don't believe the fight was fixed, but I could see why people would use that. Chael didn't really need that fight. He just used it as a way to assist the Bellator organization into getting Fedor versus Bader.
I think Chael likes competing. I think he likes the trash talk. I think he likes the lifestyle, and he says he's going to drop back down, right? Where he should drop back down in weight. And I think he enjoys that, but he doesn't lose any sleep if he loses. You know, I really think he doesn't lose any sleep. He doesn't look disappointed. He's like, well, I'm just going to go with Ariel and the bad guy and talk MMA and make my predictions and make my money that way. There is life after MMA. Just like Conor McGregor, there is life after MMA. This dude eventually, once he's done with his contract, you know, or whatever, however many contracts, he loves competing. But I don't think he gives a fuck if he loses anymore. He's got the WWE. Or he doesn't have to do anything. He can sit on his fucking yacht and sip on his proper 12, right? So it's interesting to see how this works, and I could see how people are relating this to the WWE now, because now we have a whole new era of mixed martial artists. We have the people that are getting paid and losing and don't give a fuck. Another example, Nate Diaz, right?
Right.
Nate Diaz is another one. This guy can lose fucking 5 in a row and somehow get a super fight, right? If you look at his record, you're like, wait, hold on a second. But he's always exciting when he gets inside the cage, right? And now he's going to get paid the big paydays because of why? That personality, that no give a fuck personality. It is turning in a direction that hardcore fans might not like anymore, and that is very close to WWE, right?
It's all about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. We just want to make the world.
All right, listen, my dick is inverting right now. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
No, it's
Wonderful.
I'm making a point. It's about the money, and we all know it's about the money. And then the UFC will sell out. It's inevitable. It's the prediction.
But is it ruining the sport?
Oh yeah, of course. Well, in my personal opinion, any organization that sells out, completely sells out, of course it's going to ruin the sport.
But you still have your pure fighters. Not everyone's going this route. You still have your pure fighters that want to do it for the love of competition. And then we have Khabib. Should we do the news?
You want to do the news?
You have Khabib Mayweather there?
I believe so.
Do you believe or do you know so?
No, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it in the news. Speaking of selling out, the one person that you would never think would sell out, Khabib Nurmagomedov and Floyd Mayweather talking about boxing. That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
I love you.
Let's get to the news. Remember, you can save the show with 5 minutes left in the show, and we can take some phone calls. But it's time for Jessie to read the news.
Jessie, read us the news.
It's so beautiful in here.
Oh, Jessie,
Everybody sing along at home. I want my MMA news.
I want the MMA news.
Up too late. Super chat, Kevin Costa.
I love you guys. Kale is a journeyman that can do a million other things. Nate Diaz is RETARTED. JBH Hart.
There we go.
Hard back to you, Kevin Costa. We love you too. A journeyman. Wait, I was reading it. I was reading all the
still
things.
there.
Nate Diaz is retarded, and that can is a journeyman that can do a million other things. I agree. Nate Diaz is retarded.
What? Hold on a second.
Responding to the donation.
How dare you agree that Nate Diaz is retarded? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. How dare you? Well, listen, he's got some brain cells
Sometimes I just
lost.
want to kiss your face.
I don't blame you. Sometimes I look in the mirror, I want to do the same. If you guys want to donate, link in the description or hit that super chat. What do we got in the news?
Floyd Money Mayweather responds to Khabib Nurmagomedov. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, this is John Kavanaugh. We got a couple of Mayweathers here.
Fans are already fearing deja vu, according to my MMA News. Nurmagomedov has certainly garnered more mainstream attention than ever before following UFC 229. While a submission win over Conor McGregor may have played a small part, it was the most post-UFC 229 brawl that really got things going. Nurmagomedov has garnered the attention of many mainstream figures, including 50 Cent, who wants the Eagle to ditch the UFC in favor of Bellator. Nurmagomedov recently met up with Mayweather Promotions CEO Leonard Ellerb. In the video, both men teased a potential clash with Mayweather. Money took to Instagram and offered the following response. This was his response.
Please.
CBS, Showtime, and MGM Grand, get the checkbook out. Go to Leonard Ellerb's, if that's how you pronounce it. Ellerby's page to view Khabib Nurmagomedov challenging me. Let's make Las Vegas great again. Mayweather's boxing bout with McGregor back in August ended up being the second highest grossing pay-per-view of all time. Money recently claimed he's coming out of retirement to fight Manny Pacquiao in a rematch. Time will tell if he sticks to his plan. Given the rocky relationship between the UFC and Showtime, it's unlikely that the promotion will want to deal with a situation like this again.
Now, what are we doing here? I mean, there's a couple of things, right?
Right.
Khabib's, I don't know if it's his cousin. He's not getting the fight against Artem, right? We'll segue into that after this. And now there's rumblings that Khabib is calling out Floyd Mayweather. Actually, there's a video of him and Ellerby saying, "Hey, we both undefeated fighters. Let's do this. Find true champion, true king, only one king." And Ellerby's like, yeah, black, I'm black. Right? That's what he's doing?
Pretty sure that's not what he's doing.
Yeah, he's like, I'm black.
But,
Ellerby is the blackest guy I've ever seen. He's like, every time you hear a horrible impression of a black man, Ellerby is like, it's like he's doing an impression of black people in a horrible way. You ever notice that? Ellerby's like, yeah, yes, I'm black. Like, right? What is that? What's with Ellerby? Isn't he like, doesn't he feel like he's over blacking himself? Like he's gone too black? No? Yeah, black.
like Obama.
Money. Yeah.
It's like Obama when he's meeting black people. He over-blacks himself.
If you don't know who Leonard Ellerby is, who's he? Floyd Mayweather's manager, or I don't know what the fuck he is. Anyway, he's a Family Guy character. Yeah, Kevin, that's what he seems like. And now you got this whole thing over here, and of course Mayweather would want this, right? A 40-year-old boxer, undefeated, wants to fight a guy from MMA again. Who, I mean, let's be honest. Khabib is a beast in the cage, but what are we doing? Why? Why are we even entertaining this shit? I get the Conor thing. I'm not saying I get the Conor thing because Conor was going to win. I get the shit-talking hoopla, and Conor's a striker, right? With Khabib, yeah, I mean, he can throw, but what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? No, we don't want that. And Khabib's like, I'm not about money. I'm about pride and legacy. And now he's fucking with, yeah, let's fight.
Yeah.
Right? What is that?
I don't know.
What the fuck is going on? What are we doing here? What are we doing? I got to ask the chat room.
Okay.
Is this fight going to happen? Mayweather versus Khabib. Now, some were probably like it was going to happen against McGregor. I said on the show that it's definitely happening. No one in MMA media agreed with me. I was the only one, and there's videos to prove it. I was like, mark my fucking words, that fight's going to happen. I'm going to say this right now. Mark my fucking words, this fight will not happen. There is no fucking way. If this fight happens, Jesse, I will shave my head and shave my beard off. Everything. I will be chemo patient Chris. Nothing. Well, I'll leave my eyebrows because they're beautiful. But I will shave my head and shave my beard. That's what I'll do.
No, please don't do that because
I'm putting it on the line here on the MMA.
Please don't do that.
It's not happening. I am so mystical with my predictions. It will never happen. There will never be a Khabib Floyd Mayweather fight inside a boxing ring. Never fucking happening. Ever happening. Let's see what the chat says.
Your guarantee.
I mark my words, motherfuckers. Hey, shout out to our sponsor, TygerLyfe Energy and Duplex Entertainment. They are wonderful. Wonderful. Links in the description. Chat room.
Ben Frank OG says get a face tattoo of Justin Bieber if it happens. Daniel R says they won't fight. Khabib is just joking, but he's something. I missed it. Schlagboy says you have to shave your bunghole as well. Kevin Costa says Chris's beard is on point. Tristic H says he was joking. You autistic mongoloids. Steve Johnson says I'm snorting pills. I'd like to see
I'm sure he was joking. Trisket, You know he was not joking. You're telling me that Khabib wouldn't take that fight? You're telling me he'd be like, nah, I don't want to. Please, don't pay me millions of dollars, please. Who the fuck? I would step in the ring and get mutilated by Floyd Mayweather for what? Millions of dollars? How many millions? I mean, what the fuck, Trisket? Are you out of your mind? Wouldn't you get beat up by a black man? I mean, again.
Wonderful.
I'm sorry, prom. Wouldn't you get beat?
I never went to prom.
I'm kidding.
For the millionth time.
Wouldn't you get beat up though? Seriously, like all joking aside. Like if Floyd Mayweather said, Jesse, I'm not supposed to hit women, but I'll pay you. How much did Conor get paid for that fight?
Something million.
A lot of millions.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to pay you a lot of millions.
175 million.
Thank you. Husnani Ali. I appreciate it. Beautiful picture you got there.
I think it's
Love that
Hussein
picture.
Ali. But no,
Thank you,
doesn't
Hussein.
matter.
You're the best. You're wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
175 million. All you got to do is get into the ring with Floyd Mayweather. Let him beat you up with those big pillows. Those big pillow hands.
Yeah.
I would let him knock me the fuck out. 175 million? In fact, I would let him knock me out, drop my trousers, and fuck me in the ass for 2 more rounds. That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
That's a little gay.
Right in the anal cavity. For 175 million? Right in my fucking anal cavity. I would even shave my anus. I would shave it nice and smooth. I'd lube it up before the fight because I know I'm getting knocked the fuck out.
Maybe you should stop.
Right? Let me know in the chat. What would you do? Right in my asshole.
All right. JBH, I thought Conor was going to fight Paulie, says Michael Anselon. We'll get into that. Don't worry, Michael. David Flores Jr. says Steve snorting pills, getting ills. Malcolm beat up on JBH, says Vlad. NH says JBH. Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry, NH. Ben Franco G says take a dive, first jab. Love you, says Hussein Ali. Van Shipman says I'd fight Floyd bare knuckle for $100,000. Marky Wahoo says 175 mil. I wouldn't even put my hands up. Hussein Ali says that would be highest pay-per-view. Mike Hunt says Chris, ha 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 ha. Two Joints says vomit. Kevin Costa says Khabib is bluffing the UFC. NH is laughing in the chat. David Flores Jr. says to Steve, Ambien, not Perkies. Schlagboy says, hey, 175 mil is 175 million.
That's right. They know where it's at. 2 more subscribers. We let the dragons loose. Subscribe to the MMA-Holes if you're not. Well, you could lick my balls. All right. What else do we have in the news? JBH, we got to fly through them tonight because we're going an hour, but you can save the show.
After the UFC 229 brawl, Artem Lobov now faces the Menace at UFC Moncton. UFC featherweight Artem Lobov, who's 13-14-1 in MMA, will still be fighting later this month at UFC Fight Night 138 event in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. According to a report from the MacLife, Artem Lobov will now be fighting veteran Michael Johnson at the October 27th event. The Russian Hammer was initially slated to face Khabib Nurmagomedov's teammate Zubaira Tukhugov, who's 18-4 in the MMA at UFC Moncton. However, the promotion pulled Zubaira off of the fight card shortly following the Russian's involvement in UFC 229's now infamous post-fight brawl. Artem Lobov actually begged the UFC to keep Zubaira on the fight card despite his actions, but was unable to persuade the promotion. Artem Lobov has not competed inside the cage since suffering a unanimous decision loss to Andre Fili at last October's UFC Fight Night 118 event in Poland. Lobov was slated to fight Alex Caceres at April's UFC 223 event in Brooklyn, but was pulled from the fight card due to his involvement in Conor McGregor's now infamous bus attack at the Barclays Center.
Fanship Man makes a great point. He says Conor and Artem make a very cute couple. And looking at this picture, it does look very sexy, right?
Lick my balls.
All right, so there you go. That's Artem and Conor. It's a bizarre picture that they put together here. Check it out on the MMAHoles.com, the stories. We have links to the stories for all over the internet. But when Artem fought, Nate versus Conor, I think it was 2 happened. And Artem fought Nate's dude, the young kid coming out of Nate's training camp or whatever the hell, whoever trains with Nate. I forgot the kid's name. He's a relative nobody. And what happened? Artem fought him, and Artem beat him. Artem beat the kid. Yeah, I think it was the same. I think it was on the same card as the Conor fight. Artem beat the guy. Now it went to a decision, but Lord Lobov took out Nate's boy. Nate was like, all my boys against all your boys. And what happens? Lobov beats the guy. I would have loved to seen Khabib's boy go in there, right? And Lord Lobov revenge his friend's death, go in there. Now I'm not saying it would happen, but of course it would happen, right? I would have loved to see that. the UFC has taken this away from us. Now, are they getting this guy off the roster? Or are they just suspending him?
It's just a suspension, but I mean, I would assume it's just a suspension, but they're really not releasing too much information on him because, especially after Khabib posted the thing about how he would rip up his contract and everything, they're not giving us much of anything.
Yeah, they got to be a little shook. They got to be like, is he serious? Is he going to do this or not? Because listen, Khabib rips up that contract. It looks bad. It looks bad for the sport.
Especially since he's still considered the champ. He's still got the belt.
Yeah, I don't want to see Khabib go anywhere but retire with the UFC. That's what I want to see. So for him to rip up the contract, it would be a disaster. But now we have Artem Lobov versus Michael Johnson. And that literally blindsided me. It fucking hit me sideways. And I was like spinning around for about an hour. Like, whoa! Put this on the community board. I'm like, let me let this soak into my head. Michael Johnson? Like, to me, it sounds like a mutilation, right? And people would say, yes, Lobov's going to destroy him, right? No. Michael Johnson, I mean, you got to think, hey, it's going to be a stand-up war, and Michael Johnson's going to piece him up. Like, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Michael Johnson's going to just completely destroy Artem Lobov. Poor little Artem. Why is he getting Michael Johnson? So weird, right?
It's a good question. I don't know. I mean, who would you choose if Zubair was taken off of that fight?
Is Michael Johnson ranked? Is he ranked at? Hold on. Let's look at the. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up over here. Let's look. I mean, I'm so confused. Is Michael Johnson even ranked anymore? I don't know if he is. He was at 155. He dropped to 145. And hold on. No, he's not ranked. Okay, so he's an unranked fighter, which, I mean, yeah, and you look at the people over here, he rightfully shouldn't be ranked, so that makes sense. But he was a rank 55, or he even fought with Khabib and got mutilated. But still, I don't understand this fight, how Michael Johnson swoops in. Now, you can say Cub Swanson won that Ford Artem Lobov. You know, a lot of people are saying, hey, look, Artem went the distance with Cub. In fact, Artem, in the beginning of the fight, I was like, holy shit, can he pull this one off?
Yeah.
Right? They went the distance, and listen, Cub Swanson, to me, I don't get Cub Swanson. I don't think he's all that. I mean, it's easy to say now, but I've said it even before his downcline. I was just like, what, really? Like, I don't get it.
I might be a little behind the game, and this is completely irrelevant, but I might be a little behind the game, so please don't laugh at me. But I just noticed Tony Ferguson was above Conor now in lightweight.
Well, rightfully so.
Yeah, it's just I didn't see that before.
Yeah, I mean, Ferguson, rightfully so. I mean, the fact that Conor only dropped to number 2 is interesting over there. But, you know, he beat Poirier, he beat Alvarez. So, I mean, you know, look at the guys under him. Does he really drop under those guys? I can see pound for pound he dropped dramatically. He dropped to number 8, and yeah, that all makes sense over there. I can't argue it. As much as I'm a Conor guy, I can't argue it. But Michael Johnson versus Artem Lobov seems to be like, just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem good. It doesn't fit nicely.
Yeah.
Now, what if Artem beats this guy? Right? Do you think he's going to beat him?
No, I've got my money on Johnson.
Yeah, I can't see Artem winning this one, but it'd be hilarious if Artem finds a way to dig deep. I mean, he can't even reach his pockets, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
How the hell is he going to reach Michael Johnson's face? Chad, what do you say?
Hussein Ali says Artem versus Nate Diaz. H says Artem is a dark horse. Don't trust the record. Austin Cook says Tony versus Nate. Ali Avzar says Michael Johnson's stock has gone down so much, bruh. Van Chipman says Dylan Dennis is the GOAT. He is undefeated just like Khabib. They should fight next 27-0 versus 1-0 fight of the century.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Gay Agent says no women here at Family Man. Paul Fay says Swanson versus Do Ho Choi was a great fight. Jeremy White says Alvarez, I believe, is signed with 1 now. Kevin Costa says 13-14-1. God damn it. Isaiah Moore says, when is the United Nations erecting the statue of Lord Artem?
They really got to get to that. I mean, they really do. Artem Lobov, who I met, you can check him out on Instagram. Me and Artem stood together side by side. Artem did a little retweet because I did a little blog for Conor during his first fight with Nate Diaz. Real nice dude. Artem is a real good, nice guy. And is he a great fighter? Of course, right? I mean, don't let that record fool you. This man's an actual beast. All right, Jesse, what else we have in the news? We got to fly. The MMA-Holes.com is where we're pulling all the information from all over the interwebs.
Sergei Kharitonov live streamed his own car crash following his Bellator 207 win. The video is on the message board. It's go up a little bit.
Hold on, where the fuck is it?
Go up.
I don't know why I can't find anything on the message board today. I'm like completely...
Sergei Kharitonov.
Oh, here we go.
There you go. All right, so let me just give you the video's right there, but don't play that. No, you got the video on the message board.
Okay.
Yeah, don't play it. Yeah, because I want to give you guys a brief rundown of what happened. Sergei followed up on his wrecking of Roy Nelson in the co-main event of Bellator 207 by getting into a car wreck on the way to Bellator 208. Kharitonov is okay following the accident, which was captured in the video form as he live streamed a Q&A with his fans over social media. He said, now he speaks Russian, so what he's saying is basically, we're on our way to Bellator tournament and got in a car crash. We're okay. And then he wrote afterward, we're okay, only got some bumps and bruises. It's only a 58-second clip.
All right, where is the clip? Let's
Right
see
there.
this thing. Yeah, but it's on YouTube, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
you can
okay.
see it.
All right, do I have to play the audio to this thing? Or?
If you want to hear the car crash, yeah.
All right,
You can actually skip to about halfway
Yeah, where's the crash? I don't want to see this guy fuck.
because he's speaking a completely different language.
Yeah, no one gives a shit
About
what
right
he's
here.
saying.
About right here. He literally gets in a wreck and
So
then...
what is this idiot doing? He's live streaming while
No,
he's
he's
driving.
not driving. He assured
All right.
everyone he was the passenger in the car.
This is a Facebook Live, right?
I think so.
I can get to the bottom of
know.
this. If this is Facebook Live, the camera's reversed. So technically he's on the... He should be on... Wait, hold on. He's on the passenger side. Yeah, this is right. It should be... The screen should be reversed. So it should be the passenger side. Now, is he home or is he in Russia?
No. Well, he's going to Bellator 208.
Oh, okay. So he's in the States. So yeah, this should be... Yeah, he shouldn't be driving. Okay.
And that's all you see.
Hold on a second.
Wait, but if you turn up the volume, you can actually hear the skids.
Jack Bowen says that's Instagram Live. This could be a game changer. Now, it's Instagram Live. I need some help in the chat. Do they flip the camera? I know Facebook and actually, yeah, I think if it's front facing, yes, I think the camera is flipped. I'm almost
I don't
positive.
know.
All right, so yeah. All right, so here we go. Here's Sergei. Now, if you're listening to this on Podbean and iTunes, we'll check it out on YouTube. We'll have the link in the description over there. But we'll describe what happens. He's looking into the camera, and hopefully he's not driving. He pulls up his hand.
No, you can hear the skid.
Okay, well, it's going to be low, but who cares?
Do you hear it? Now, it's important. Hold on, before
Is
you
he all
start
right?
laughing.
I know I should be
It's
laughing.
important that you hear the skid because he
Yeah.
assured followers in the comments that he was the passenger not driving and doing social media at the same time. He blamed drunken thugs for crashing into his vehicle without going into further detail.
All right, so I'm going to go with him on this one. I know that most social media, if you're looking at it front facing, chances are it is flipped. I know from experience my own. I'm going to put the volume a little bit louder so we can hear the skid now.
And I just want to point out before we start laughing at it again, we don't know if anyone was hurt or killed.
I'm going to try not to laugh. Everyone in the chat, do not laugh. Whatever you do, this is not a funny situation. I'll probably laugh. Oh, hold on a second. I want to, right off the bat, I want to make this a donation. All right, hold on a second. Here we go.
Друзья, выйду в прямой эфир чуть позже. Всем удачи, здоровья. Ну, а надеюсь, что...
Oh my God. That shit. What the fuck? Oh my God. Okay, Jesse's got a straight face and I am laughing hysterically.
Yeah,
Let me
because
stop.
he hasn't given detail. Like, we don't know if someone died in this accident, you know?
So
There's a reason he's not giving us details.
who is not giving us so
The fighter.
all right, but how do we not have details on this?
All he could say was he was not the one driving and it was a drunken accident. And usually in drunken accidents, someone dies.
Mm-hmm.
So before we start laughing, I mean, we don't know if someone died.
Someone died, it would be all over the internet. It's on one story.
Not if they're still investigating the situation. They investigate those types of situations all the time.
Mm-hmm. Drunken
so we don't
thugs. So drunken thugs were driving.
That's what he called them, drunken thugs. He
Oh my
blamed them
God.
drunken thugs. That's
During
what he
the
said.
day, someone was drunk driving and hit him while he was live streaming.
Yeah.
All right, what do you guys say? Let's play it again. I'm going to try not to laugh this time. Hold on a second. If someone died, then I'll feel bad.
What stats, Tristan? There's no stats.
Друзья, выйду в прямой эфир
Voodoo.
чуть позже. Всем удачи, здоровья. Ну, а надеюсь, что...
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. All right.
Wonderful, wonderful.
You know what I'm thinking? Let me tell you what I'm thinking.
I don't want
right
to know
now.
what you're thinking.
There was a skit on Saturday Night Live, and this is why I'm laughing. There was a skit on Saturday Night Live called Toonces the Driving Cat. Okay? He drives around all over the town. Toons is the driving cat. And every skit, he wound up dying. He was driving, and then all of a sudden it's like, Toons is, watch out. He was a puppet. And he's like, oh! Then the fucking car would go off, and it reminds me of that, the screeching, and then hold it. But all right, anyway, let me know if anyone in the chat remembers Toons. What else do we have in the news? Holy shit, we got 9 minutes left in the show. We got to hurry the fuck up. Someone save the fucking show. 5 minutes left in it. Oh my God, we might not get to all the news. What else we got?
John Jones secretly lived in a trauma facility for 30 days, but don't worry, he feels better now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Former UFC lightweight champ John Jones had a pretty rough 2017 thanks to the passing of his mom and loss of his 205-pound title, blah, blah, blah. Since he's constantly surrounded by idiots and cliffs, it was probably best for Bones to get the heck out of Dodge/Albuquerque. That's why the former pound-for-pound great checked himself into a guest house in patient facility in Ocala, Florida at the end of June, according to his conversation with ESPN.
That's where felony's from. Why do all degenerates go to Ocala, Florida? No offense, felony, we love you, but what the fuck? Anyway, all right, let's speed it up. So what happened to you?
Where he works side by side with counselors and psychiatrists. This is what he said. He said, they taught me how to deal with my mom's death and loss of my career. My mom died in June of 2017, and then I lost my title in August, so those are two devastating losses, and I found myself in a pretty deep depression, so I went back to seek professional help. I'm really glad I did because I feel so much better now. I regained my happiness. I had to relearn how to love myself as a father, as a husband, as a brother, and as a friend. I had to get back to being Jonathan Jones, and I had to learn how to put John Bones Jones. I had to learn how to differentiate the two, and that's when I became happy again. Just getting back to remembering all the things that I had to be happy about, like my family and my beautiful daughters.
Oh, fuck this. All right,
really
who cares? Drunk Savage makes a good point. He says Jones was in rehab. Don't sugarcoat it. Yeah, let's move on. Listen, I'm glad he's back. You know, he's supposedly cleaned himself up. Hopefully everything is good for him and we can see his talents back in the cage. But come on, man, right? Like, fuck this guy. All right, what else we got?
John Kavanagh discusses possible future Conor McGregor fights with Floyd Mayweather and Paulie Malignaggi.
Skip. All right, what else do we have? That's not happening, right? Does anyone give a shit about Conor McGregor, a rematch with Floyd Mayweather? It makes no sense. Paulie Malignaggi needs to die. Not die. That's terrible. Needs to hide under a rock. All right, what else we got?
Artem Lobov. Well, we already talked about Artem Lobov versus Michael Johnson targeted for the UFC.
That's correct.
Khabib's manager rips 50 Cent's Bellator offer, calls Conor McGregor a bitch.
Oh, okay. All right, so what do we got here? 50 Cent, we know he offered, $2 million? If we can just get a synopsis.
Yeah. Khabib's representative Ali Abdelaziz has said the $2 million offer from the rapper 50 Cent for the Russian to switch from UFC to Bellator is garbage. According to TMZ, the UFC lightweight champion's manager also called defeated rival Conor McGregor a bitch. He said, quote, "I'll slap the shit out of Conor. Fuck Conor McGregor. Conor's a bitch. He quit in the fight. You cannot tell me Conor McGregor is a man. He is nothing." Speaking about 50 Cent's offer, Abdelaziz added, for $2 million, that won't even open a Coca-Cola bottle for Khabib. Khabib makes a lot of money. We talk about $50 million and up. We can talk, but $2 million, this is garbage.
Wow. He says, fuck that money. Wow. So, and once again, someone that said that he's not all about money, now he's like, fuck it, I got a little leverage. Let's make some cash. So good for Khabib. He deserves what he gets. But I think the whole that Khabib doesn't fight for money anymore. He fights for pride. That's all out the window. Khabib is part of the system. He's part of the game. Khabib Nurmagomedov is tainted, unfortunately. It is what it is. All right, we're going to put 5 minutes on the clock. And here's how this works. Let me put the dramatic music. Want to try that? Try it with me.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now 5 minutes are on the clock. The person that donates inside the 5 minutes, whatever the denomination is, we will go longer, that much longer, your donation. So $5, 5 minutes, $10, 10 minutes, $20, 20 minutes. A link in the description or super chat. If you do not donate, the show is over. Let's get to one more story. Jessie, 20 likes. 20 likes.
20 likes. I've got fucking 20
Let's go.
20 likes. 20 likes. I've got fucking 20 likes. I hope the dislikes die of leprosy.
If you want to see any of the stories that we missed, go to the MMA-Holes.com and you can check out all the shite over there. Jesse, what's in the news?
Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz 3 has a proposed fight card released.
Interesting. All right. This is going to be good. Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, which someone's saying is $50 for the pay-per-view. Like,
yeah.
I'm not paying that shit.
The main card, they are proposing Liddell versus Ortiz, Kenneth Berg versus Jorge Gonzalez, Gleason Thibault versus Efrain Escudero, Willel Watson versus Ricardo Palacios, Darren Wynn versus Tom Lawler, and Jay Silva versus Oscar Cota. The swing bouts, Morales Luciano, Huerto Garcia, Grove Walker, Terrell Cisneros, Wilkerson Jones, Wilson Segura. Amateur bouts, they're doing Culpepper versus Coleman, Kim versus Thomas, Kim versus Gutierrez, Schaffer versus Favela, and Miller versus Mendoza. These are all proposed fights for the Tito Ortiz versus Chuck Liddell card.
Well, all right. When is this fight? When is it? Does it say the date for this fight? I'm curious. It's $49.99. It is a pay-per-view fight. When the fuck is it? Does it say? Does it have a date? I know there's got to be a date for it somewhere. Just can we do a little... Let's see if I don't see it in the store. Oh, here we go. Hold on a second. November 24th is the date. So now the question is there anything going on in the UFC November 24th?
And you're right. The cost of the pay-per-view on Fight TV is $49.99.
All right. $49.99. Let me know in the chat if you're going to be spending $49.99 on that shit show. And I do want to see if it is going against anything in the UFC. November 7th. Oh. All right. So it's going against a fight night.
A good fight night.
And it's going against Ngannou Blades 2.
We have to see that one.
Hold on a second. But when... Oh, this is not at night, though. This is in China. So this will be during the day. Yeah, so there will be nothing going... Well, there will be other organizations going, but the UFC will not be going on that night. I don't know if there will be a Bellator fight, but wisely, they have it on a night where the UFC is most likely going to be on during the day over here. So it won't be going against that. All right, chat room, let me know. Are you going to pay for that fight? We have 2 minutes left in the show, Jesse. A couple more comments. We're going to be live on Wednesday for 2 swole strong hours. Hey, if you're new to the show, give us a sub. We met some friends in the neighborhood. And if you're watching, we're looking into your eyes. We see you, peeps.
Family Man says to Drunk Savage, Oscar screams louder than Nancy. Hussein Ali says, I'd rather get... Oh, missed it. Daniel R says, my wife left me because I'm a fighter. Wish she was more like Jess. Aw, sad to hear. Drunk Savage says, Family Man, did you fap during or after? Boner and Militia says, pay me $1,449 and I will watch the Tito fight.
Ah, super chat.
Super.
Kevin Costa.
I want to see Jessie's beautiful face a little more. Also, Chris, your shirts are getting a bit tighter, brother.
Uh-oh.
Kevin Costa, thank you for the donation. You are wonderful, wonderful, and you have just saved the show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Party time. 21 more minutes.
Kevin Costa, my boy.
Yeah. Kevin Costa saving the show. Everyone drop a fap in the chat right now.
Fap.
Thank you, Kevin Costa. You are wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yes. Hey. 21 more minutes of the MMA-Holes. One more subscriber we let. Jesse, are you pumped up?
I'm always pumped up.
Let's go, friends. Chat room. Fap in the chat right now. All right, no more gay music. All right, so let's put 21 more minutes. So when it hits 11 o'clock, we'll put 21 more minutes over there. And we got some more news stories. We'll open up the phone lines. Thanks to Kevin Costa. Everyone thank Kevin Costa for that wonderful, wonderful donation. Kevin, man.
Thank you, Kevin Costa.
I shit you not, Jesse. Kevin Costa
shit me not.
has single-handedly thrown this show on his shoulders and like, don't, I got it.
It's cool, everyone.
Shout out to Kevin
Costa's
Costa.
got it.
Everyone cheersing, saluting to Kevin Costa. Chat room, what do you say?
Van Shipman says, I fapped myself too hard.
Ooh.
Wicked World's drinking in the chat. Isaiah Moore dropping the eggplant booty shit. To you, gay agent. Vito Garcia says, fap in the chat. Brian Blaze says, CBD. Mike Hunt says,
Wonderful.
I have blisters. I tapped so hard. You mean fapped? Daniel R says, love you, Kevin. Ann H says, wicked. Hello. Drunk Savage says to Steve Johnson, not more dying for me. Tried it the other day. Well, we're glad that you're still here, Drunk Savage.
All right. Thank you so much. And yeah, Drunk Savage, listen, Shout out to Drunk Savage, one of the OGs coming in. Drunk Savage, actually, he came in like halfway through our little journey over here. We've been on for 2 years, and Drunk Savage hit the fucking ground running. So shout out to Drunk Savage over there, one of the swollest, sexiest MMA holes. You are wonderful.
Wonderful.
All right, let's keep the party going. We do have some more stories, and thank God they saved the show, because I think we need to go to Conor throwing that football. That's what we need to do. It's only right. It's only fair to go to Conor throwing that football. So, Jessie, what else do we have in the news?
Do you want to do that one next?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it, Jessie.
The internet roasts quarterback Conor McGregor. Broncos are still looking for QB1 when Conor McGregor shows up to a football game this past weekend. And there are some tweets. If you'll click on the link, I can read them aloud to you. There are some tweets that are given with captions and videos of Conor. All right. CJ Fogler says, "What the fuck is this?" Another angle.
Hold on, let's see. CJ Fogler. All right, Fogler. All right, let's see. CJ Fogler puts this over here. Oh, fuck. What is this?
It takes you to the tweet.
All right, here we go. Let's see it. And go follow CJ Fogler. It's at CJZER0. Okay, here's Conor. He's dropping back to pass the lefty.
An idea what you think of.
Oh, hold on. Let's mute this motherfucker. Okay. Hello. No, that's wait. Why does it stop playing? The fuck. All right. Let's look at this thing. Let's reenact. Let's see what happened here. Let's go. Okay, Conor drops back. I'm gonna play this little slow motion. Throws it now. Okay, that is not perfect for him. In fact, he doesn't even have his fingers on the fucking the threading over there. Yeah. He just kind of yeah, and look at the wobble as that thing.
Yeah, it definitely didn't spiral.
All right, so in fairness, football in Ireland, you play with your feet. So in fairness, Conor McGregor should be throwing this with his foot. I think he would have got a tighter spiral. So let's watch this in real time here. There we go.
That totally wobbled.
Do they show the actual ball thrown? No. Is there another angle?
We will see.
All right, let's see what else we got.
Here's another angle from Rob Friedman at Pitching Ninja.
All right,
says Conor McGregor launch angle throw at Troy Rawlings.
Okay, here we go. There it is. All right, so that's the other angle. Yeah, he's never thrown a football. It's never happened. It has never happened.
NB or N.
That shit must have went sideways. Like, it doesn't even look like it went straight, right? It looks like it just went straight up in the air, or it didn't go anywhere. That didn't go anywhere. That was like when, who was it? 50 Cent threw out the first pitch and Baba Booey. Oh my God.
NB at Nick J Bay says, with a side-by-side poster of Conor throwing the ball and Conor.
Yeah, well, this is, who is this? This is the guy from, what the fuck's his name? Fitzgerald?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's Fitzgerald.
Super Bowl on the line. Who you taking? Roger Sherman at Roger. Also a side-by-side.
Now, if you're listening on Podbean and iTunes, we're playing the clips from Twitter and all over the internet. They're mocking how Conor threw the ball, and it's pretty bad. Look how he's holding it. Like, I mean, it's not even the fact, like, how he's standing. That's ridiculous. He looks like he just got off the short bus. But how he's holding the ball, it's like he's literally like pushing it. Like, he's not even trying to throw a spiral. He's just trying to push the ball in the direction that he wants it to go. I think my nephew can throw better than this.
I choose no one. Yahoo Fantasy Sports at Yahoo Fantasy says, one football game to save the planet. Choose your quarterback. And he put it side by side with Peterman. LMAO from the Bleacher Report at Bleacher Report. Who the fuck taught Conor how to throw a football? It's the same clip.
Is it the same one?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right. Yeah, it looks like the same thing. Yeah.
Maybe he did. The checkdown at the checkdown says, I think McGregor picked the right sport, with a laughing, crying emoji. I could throw this football clear over the octagon. Maybe not, though. Steelers Depot at Steelers Depot. Uncle Rico McGregor.
I love it. I love the reference. All right, Jessie. Uncle Rico. What movie? Here we go. I'm going to put it on JBH. Hold on. What movie? Here we go. Uncle Rico. What movie? Now, you're not allowed to look at the chat. You need to look directly at the camera right now. Uncle Rico. What movie?
Uncle Rico.
Think. Throwing a football. I'll give you a hint. Throwing a football. Don't look at the chat. Look right into their eyes. What movie? Uncle Rico. You're looking at the chat.
No, I was looking at me. Okay.
You're looking at the... All right, forget it. I cannot believe you don't know the movie. I can't believe it. The chat room knows. Napoleon Dynamite. Yep. Wow. Napoleon Dynamite. You don't remember Uncle
Rico reference? A Napoleon Dynamite
and
reference?
You love Napoleon Dynamite.
I love Napoleon Dynamite.
You don't remember Uncle Rico when he fucking set up the camera?
I remember.
He's throwing the ball.
Tina, you fat lord, come get your food.
Napoleon Dynamite. Uncle Rico. It's wonderful,
Rico.
wonderful. All right, any other tweets over here that we can see?
Another L for Connor, and from Nick at Nick_Pants says Connor taking another L. Okay. Leave Rutgers football out of it. Field Yates says would start for Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
Tough decision. Danny at Danny Mikhail says Conor McGregor or Eli Manning. Let lefty QBs live says Fansided at Fansided. Still not the worst QB in the Jacks versus Dallas game.
All right, I'm waiting for the funny one.
Connor is ready. Andrew K at Co-Sports Nut says Conor McGregor attempting to throw a football. I hear John Elway likes what he sees and is trying to set up a meeting on Tuesday.
All right. So there you go. If you want to see this,
Connor.
go to the MMAHoles.com. You can see the rest of these quotes over here. It's Connor throwing like and yeah. I mean, in his country, they play with their feet, so I can't really kill him too much.
All right.
I've seen people throw worse. Let me put it to you that way. I've actually seen worse.
Chael Sonnen on his loss to Fedor Emelianenko at Bellator 208. He says, quote, I've never been ground and pounded like that.
That's right, Chael Sonnen.
Yes.
He's never been grounded and pounded like that, Jessie. If you know what I mean, right? Oh yeah.
Fap. Fap.
Wonderful.
All right. Entering his fight against Fedor Emelianenko at Bellator 208, Chael Sonnen famously declared that the greatest and most decorated fighter in the history of martial arts will finally face Fedor. But a little less than 5 minutes into the actual fight, it was Emelianenko being peeled off of Sonnen after dribbling the American's head off the canvas with a barrage of punches. He said, quote, this is Chael Sonnen, I would call him explosive. With his punches, there wasn't a ton of setups. They just came and they came hard. Even on the ground, I had some good positions on him and he would just explode. It weren't exactly technique-based. It was impressive. He was an impressive athlete. Emelianenko dropped Sonnen in the bout's opening seconds with a haymaker, setting the stage for what was to come. Sonnen, who managed to recover as best he could, found little success in implementing his wrestling as the larger Emelianenko negated his takedowns with ease. At one point, Sonnen managed to secure back control, but followed with an ill-timed roll as he looked to secure a more dominant position.
You know what? It's funny. I see people were making fun of like those comments below says Allman Brothers with the Connor thing. What we should do, we should put that on the MMAHoles.com. I guarantee that's what's great about these motherfuckers. I guarantee whatever they would say about that Conor throw would be light years funnier than those tweets over there. Whoever harvested those tweets are horrible.
You want me to?
Should we do that? Yeah. Hit me with the ones. Fuck it. We're going to do it anyway. Yeah, put it that picture of Conor throwing the football. I want to get your comments. You got to be funny as fuck. Show them how it's done. If you're going to troll, do it right. And show them how it's done on the MMAHoles.com. We're going to open up the phone lines. Let me know what you think about this whole Chael situation. Conor with the throw. We spoke about a lot of shit today. Artem Lobov versus Michael Johnson. Napoleon Dynamite. Khabib Mayweather. John Jones. This video, if you didn't see it, we'll play it again real quick right now. This guy over here. Sergei Kharitonov. Look at this motherfucker. He gets into a car accident. Check this out. Here we go. Oh, what the fuck happened? Wow, that was weird. The MMAHoles.com just went to shit. What the fuck just happened? It just went, we've just gone black. We've been blacked. All right, let me open up the phone lines while I try to get this back on. 516-522-0267. Make sure you check us out on Podbean and iTunes. We have our live streams over there. The audio version, you can check it out. It's wonderful.
Wonderful.
All right, here we go. You are live with the MMA Holes. What's your name and what is on your mind?
This is Kevin. So Chael Sonnen, he's got so many opportunities. He can go back to doing the Ariel and Bad Guy show. He's going to go back to Bellator, analyzing fights or doing his podcast. Or he's an analyst for ESPN too. Mm-hmm. So he didn't need to win this fight. I don't think he was really in it. I mean, last week he was covering the Conor McGregor Khabib fight. while Fedor was focused 100% ready to win this fight because he's all in. Chael, I don't think he was in it 100%. As soon as he got a little taste of adversity, he rolled over and quit. And that's been Chael Sonnen's MO. He just kind of, once he gets tagged a little bit, he kind of just turtles up and quits. But I want to ask the chat something. People been saying Ryan Bader, he's overrated or he's not that good. I don't think it. I think Ryan Bader is really good, actually. That knockout of King Mo, that Lynn Vessel dude, that dude's pretty tough. He's a really tough, athletic, big dude, and went in there, destroyed him. I think him versus DC would actually be a competitive fight because I know DC wouldn't be able to just take him down and hold him down like he does everyone else because Bader's got the wrestling to stand him, keep it standing, and he's also got the heavy hands to pose some threats to DC, and he's really explosive and athletic. I think that's a competitive fight. But anyways, everybody subscribe to MMA Buds on YouTube. Go on YouTube, type in MMA Buds, subscribe, and shout out to Dan from Oregon.
There you go.
Peace out.
All right. That's how you know you made it. And thank you, Kevin, for the call. That's how you know you made it when he's soliciting the smaller shows. So thank you, Kevin, for making me a goddamn celebrity. But check this out. Ryan Bader over here. Ryan Bader is 26-5-0, and when he left the UFC, this man over here, well, I mean, he was on a little bit of a tear. Knocking out Latifi, calling out DC. Does he have a shot against DC? Everyone has a shot, right? But no, I believe that DC would murder Bader. I honestly, a proper beating by Daniel Cormier. That's what I see. But against Fedor, I think he's going to win. I really do. I have my money on Ryan Bader over here, and Bellator looks very good. Phil Davis gives him a little bit of a run for his money. But Ryan Bader is legit, and Ryan Bader is wonderful. Wonderful. Open up the phone lines. We have 7 more minutes in the show. Thanks to Costa over here. 7 more minutes, and the phone lines are back open. Get your calls in. Let us know what you think over here in our stories on the MMA-Holes.com. Conor McGregor throwing like a... Yeah, that's right. Stop doubting Fedor. I know. Well, you know what? Fedor should tell me to keep on rooting against him so he could keep winning because I am the kiss of death when it comes to those picks. What do we have here? Yoel Romero.
Yes. Yoel Romero responds to Luke Rockhold's call for a light heavyweight rematch.
I love you.
I love you. Over the weekend, former UFC middleweight champion Luke Rockhold announced that he'd like to fight longtime middleweight contender Yoel Romero again in the future at light heavyweight. To remind, Rockhold and Romero fought earlier this year. In the first meeting, Romero won by knockout. Unfortunately, Romero missed weight for his bout, which made it a tough defeat for Rockhold to swallow. Yoel's a piece that can't make weight, says Luke Rockhold. I don't even know how he exists in the rankings. He missed weight for 2 back-to-back title fights. The guy's a cheap fuck, and I'll find him at light heavyweight if he wants to do it again. It did not take long for Yoel Romero to respond to this call-out from Luke Rockhold. While the Cuban knockout artist did not specify whether he's interested in rematching Rockhold or not, he did remind his former opponent what happened the first time they fought. He posted on Instagram, Yoel Romero, a video of him knocking out Luke Rockhold, saying, quote, "Somebody remind Luke Rockhold the last time he looked for me what happened." Romero said this in his Instagram post that also included that video. Luke Rockhold is currently scheduled for a rematch with a fellow former champion and Chris Weidman, who he'll meet on the card of UFC 230 on November 3rd in New York City. Romero was also briefly expected to fight on this card against the undefeated Paulo Costa, but unfortunately could not accept this fight due to injury. While both fighters currently seem to be sticking to the middleweight division, both have also repeatedly flirted with the idea of moving north to the 205-pound light heavyweight division, where their weight cut would be less taxing.
Yeah, well, listen, Luke Rockhold, I'm not a big fan of Luke. When he came to the UFC, I was, coming out of Strikeforce. Luke Rockhold was a shit. And then his arrogance and stuff, it got under my skin. But I have to defend Luke in this one. Luke didn't even have to take the fight.
Right.
Yoel Romero coming in, all bloated and shit, missing weight, and then knocking him out. It was a risky move. Luke took the fight to save what was left of that card. And look what happened.
Right.
It kind of knocked down his street value all because of that. And no one talks about, Romero blowing the weight. They just talk about Luke Rockhold getting his head knocked to the fucking moon. And another thing is Luke's chin has been tested now, right? And because he took this fight against Romero, a heavier Romero that decided not to make weight, now Rockhold, maybe his chin is fucked. You know, Michael Bisping had happened, and then Romero it happens. Maybe Romero is the icing on the cake and completely fucked up Rockhold so much that he's going to lose to Chris Weidman.
Well, Rockhold has spoken about it, you know, in the past this year about how he's just, his bones aren't the same, his body doesn't feel the same. Like, he can feel the time, as time progresses, his body is not the way it used to be. You know, not just with weight cuts, but... What are you doing?
The belts were crunkled up. I wanted to show all the belts. I'm listening.
So much respect.
I'm listening. No, finish the point. I'm listening. I'm actually interested. I am.
I was just saying, Luke Rockhold did mention that he's falling out of his prime.
So Luke Rockhold, well, yeah, I'm surprised he's fighting at middleweight again. Let's take one more call and end this thing up. Oh. You are live with the MMA-Holes. What's your name and what is on your mind?
Hey, it's the knitter.
Oh, and I was looking to see if it was you, and these freaking numbers, I don't know. Anyway, Ann, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you guys doing?
You know what I love when you call? You're the best. You're the OG of the MMA-Holes, one of the most wonderful guests.
Wonderful.
And viewers and friends of the show. And you're just a goddamn sweetheart, Ann.
Aw, thank you. Hey, Jessie.
Hi, Ann. How are you?
I'm good. How are
Good.
you?
I am very tired, but great. I just want you to know I love you very much, Ann.
There you go.
Oh, thank you. I love both of you, too.
Okay, now we'll stop sucking on each other's genitals. And listen, it's great to have you on the show. A lot of stuff we spoke about. First of all, do you want to see Khabib versus Mayweather?
Fuck no.
No. All right.
What?
Look at that. What do you think about Conor's spiral? Or non-spiral? It's a try of a spiral.
I can throw a football better than Conor.
I believe that.
I said the same thing, Ann. I said the same fucking thing. How do you not know how to throw a spiral?
You think professional athlete, right? You think professional athlete, you should be able to. But he does live at a place where they kick it around.
On the string. It's not on the...
So ridiculous.
Yeah.
And like, wee, just throw it up in the air.
Next question. Artem Lobov versus Michael Johnson.
Oh, Artem, the GOAT. Of course. He's going to win. He's going to murder Johnson.
Wow. What do you think about that, Jessie?
I think as much of a great person as you are, Ann, Michael Johnson is going to take this fight.
What does she know, right, Ann? What is she? I mean, Artem Lobov is the GOAT.
Know, come on. Everybody knows Artem's going to beat Johnson.
She's delusional, Ann. She's absolutely delusional. And last question, all right? Last question is, Jessie, you want to ask one more question? You want me to ask it?
Go for it.
Fedor or Bader?
Fedor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
One more question I'm going to ask you. Kevin from Chicago called in and said that Ryan Bader would beat Daniel Cormier right now. What do you say?
No. I said DC would definitely beat him.
DC for the win. All right, and thank you so much for the call, but we have to wind this show down. We'll see you on Wednesday night, and have a wonderful, wonderful night.
Wonderful.
You two have a wonderful night.
Love you.
Bye.
And H, the best way to end the show, right? And motherfucking H. So we have a minute left, right?
Yes.
You're tired. You're squirmy.
Right.
Are you going to go straight to sleep? Or
No, I'm going to make some cookies.
you better bake some goddamn cookies. How else am I going to
That's why you're asking.
You better bake some cookies.
This is why he's had a sweet tooth all fucking night. We have nothing in the cabinet for sweets.
Mm-hmm.
And I promised cookies. And now you're concerned I'm going to go to sleep instead of
No,
making
don't fall asleep.
cookies.
Make the cookies and fall asleep. I need to fill out my shirts a little bit better. They're not tight enough. They need to be tighter.
That's all you're thinking about is the cookies.
Check out our merchandise. By the way, we have new shirts that are being made. Check out our merchandise on the MMAHoles.com. If you want to check us out on iTunes and Podbean, well, it's free. You go over there and you just follow us there and just download away. You can listen to the audio versions of these shows. Watching this on a replay, slap a like. One more subscriber will let the dragons loose. We'll do it on the next show. How about that? Jessie, last words. Well, actually, we got 25 seconds. More than last words. You gonna bite my hand?
I love the MMA Holes so much that I could just eat all of your faces.
Yeah.
Eat all of them because you're just so fucking cute, all of you guys. And my life would not be complete without you. Even though I say I hate you guys like 90% of the time. my life probably wouldn't be complete without you. So thank you for being the biggest assholes in the world. And thank you for being the MMA-Holes, not community, but family. Also, don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-Hole.